Hello, friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. All right, so today's going to be kind of a simple day. Just a one little project to do and a couple of stupid little things to do. You may remember that yesterday I went to Home Depot and bought a door stopper to prevent that cabinet in the kitchen from driving the handle through the glass door on the range. When I got home and looked at it, I realized that the part that I got probably wasn't the best one at all. Because one, it was longer than it has to be. I don't really need one that's 4 inches, but what happened is when I was getting the other piece, when I was getting the washers for the towel rack, I saw that and said, "Oh yeah, okay, we'll get one of those too." And unfortunately, I didn't really get the right one. So I think what I'm going to do is go back, return the one I got. Since I haven't even pulled it out of the package yet, it should be a simple return. And let's get one that's probably more appropriate. So as you recall, the concern here was that you open this up and it could drive that knob right through the glass door on the brand new range. So I thought if I put one of these door stoppers down here, that it would hit the metal part of the range down here and prevent it from going in. But when you really look at it, I only really need like maybe a 2-inch long piece, because there's really about a 1-inch gap there. And that's when the handle's actually touching the glass. I think if I created like a 2-inch gap with a 2-inch stopper, that's still going to leave me plenty of room between the knob and the glass on the range. Additionally, if I use this one, which is rigid, not a spring, it's going to be sticking out from the side of this thing about 4 inches. If somebody walks in there, they're going to trip over that, and they're either going to rip the thing off, or they're going to pull the door off the hinge, or they're going to really bruise their leg really well. So I think if I get one of those spring-loaded ones that's a little bit shorter, then if somebody hits that, it just springs out of the way. So let's go do that, and we'll start with that project today. All right, I think I found the right thing. This is a little bit shorter. It's about 3 inches long, which is probably longer than it has to be. But that was as short as I could get it. The also advantage, it's white, so it'll blend in with the cabinet really well. And it's spring-loaded, so it won't break off if somebody accidentally kicks it. So I think that'll be the right thing. Let's go put that on. All right, so here's the 3 parts I need for the little stopper. Basically, you got the screw that attaches this thing here to the wall, and then the little spring thing just screws into it. So first thing I got to do is drill a hole. This cabinet, as we learned before, is made out of MDF. So if you don't drill a hole, what you're going to end up doing is just splitting the wood. So let's start by drilling a hole and getting it properly set. So the first thing we got to do is we got to figure out what size drill to use. So I pull up my handy dandy calipers here and basically measure everything, and it looks like we're going to be about 3/32. So I have a 3/32 drill. Now if you actually look at the wood here, you see that there's a seam here where this part of the frame was sealed together. So you don't want to drill through there. I think I'm going to drill right about here, because the wood here is about 3/4 of an inch thick, and that's way longer than the screw I'm going to put in there. And so this is kind of the strongest part. Basically what you want to do is find some part that's going to make contact with this thing here, and basically anywhere along the bottom can do it, but you want to kind of get it out here at this edge. So let's drill that hole. Now I'm kind of watching the depth a little bit because I don't want to go all the way through. So before I do anything else, I'm going to drive the screw in just by itself. Drive it all the way to the bottom and pull it back out again. That way you just make sure you get the threads all cut without anything else being in the way. Then you put the attachment on. Kind of wait until it becomes tight to the point where this doesn't spin loosely, but you don't want to go too tight because one, you'll either go through the back of the drawer or you'll warp this thing by pulling it in with a screw. Now all you got to do is just screw this little thing on here. This goes on real easy. Twist it on, twist it as far as it'll go. So now we're in business. We got our doorstop on here, and we don't ever have to worry about driving the handle into the glass of the stove, because now if I open it, boom, it just hits there, and I still got a good 2 inches of clearance there. So you know what? $2 fix to prevent having to replace a $500 range. That's money well spent. So anyway, now in addition to not having a rigid thing there, which is a trip hazard, because now somebody kicks that, the spring just pops out of the way, and it isn't a problem. And it makes a funny noise too. It's funny, it reminds me, we used to have a dog who was terrified of lightning and thunder, and so whenever it rained and was lightning and thundering outside, we'd bring her in the house and put her in one of the bathrooms for the night, and she'd always find these things and play with them at night. So like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, you'd hear that noise and you'd know the dog was entertaining herself. So a couple of days ago, I got a Facebook message from a viewer who is a graphic artist, and he came up with a really great idea for a t-shirt idea for me. I showed it a little bit on my live stream yesterday, but I really thought that was a great idea. He basically grabbed an image that I shot about a year ago of me posing with Lou Ferrigno, the guy that played the Incredible Hulk in the 70s TV series. And I did kind of one of these shots, and when I posed with him, and he basically took that image, superimposed it onto the body of Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and has me chainsawing a pod box, which was just really, really ironic and really funny. I think we're going to probably make a t-shirt out of that. I'll probably go through Merch 5 because their problem right now is they just don't have a graphic artist. But if you produce the content for them, that they can put it on a t-shirt and produce that for me. So I'm going to contact Merch 5 and do that. But tell me what you think of this image. Would you buy a t-shirt that looks like this? I think it's really cool. So I think that's really all I have today. I knew this was going to be kind of a short day, just a couple things to do. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.